We say goodbye to Wawa and head northwest on the Trans-Canada Highway toward White River, Marathon, and Terrace Bay. The next 188 kilometers is well north of the Lake Superior coastline. The highway is cut through the vast Ontario wilderness, and if it wasn't for a little traffic and construction, the area would appear quite desolate. You check the mileage to the next town, and you begin to calculate how much longer will it take me to get there. The Lake Superior Circle Tour appears to have somewhat stalled from presenting you with those "oh wow" landscape moments. But wait a minute! Let's back this up a bit. As quick as you checked your speed and had a sip of coffee, you could have missed Kaybenung Lake. Even if you noticed it, it would have just flashed right by. From the highway, it is certainly pretty. It doesn't appear very large. The water is your typical tea color and clear. You take a deep breath. The air is deliciously clean. You put in your canoe or kayak for a paddle. And in just a few minutes you realize that Kaybenung Lake opens up to one of the largest lakes in the area. Included in those hidden natural gems is Pukaskwa National Park. It covers a large portion of this remote area, and unless you spotted it on a map, you could easily have driven past and missed another of Ontario's pinnacle locations. Pukaskwa is an explorer's, hiker's, camper's paradise. The park covers an area over 1,800 square kilometers, and it protects part of the longest undeveloped shoreline anywhere on the Great Lakes. It has 60 kilometers of coastal hiking trails, and another 40 kilometers inland. Pukaskwa has a variety of vacation options that range from convenient campsites and relatively easy outdoor activities to a much more difficult and remote wilderness experience requiring expertise and preparation. The coastal hiking trail has 2 suspension bridges, one across the White River and one across the Willow River. Black bears, moose, lynxes, and wolf packs are found in this park, along with woodland caribou and peregrine falcons. Once upon a time, White River boasted being the coldest spot in Canada at minus 72 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it appears to have been a fun myth, as the village of Snag in the Yukon holds the record at minus 62.8 degrees Celsius since 1947. Along with being surrounded by some of the most pristine wilderness in Ontario, White River is also proud of being the birthplace of Winnie the Pooh. Lieutenant Harry Colburn was a veterinarian, and in 1914 was assigned to England to tend to horses in the First World War. While traveling across Canada with his regiment, they made a brief stop in White River. Colburn hopped off the train for a leg stretch and met a trapper with a 7-month-old bear cub on a leash. Being a lover of animals, Colburn picked up the cub and immediately became attached. He bought the cub for $20 and named the little bear Winnie, after his hometown, Winnipeg. The bear quickly became the unofficial regimental mascot and traveled with them to England. They were together through Colburn's 7 weeks of training, and when Harry Colburn learnt he would be posted in France, he gave up Winnie to the London Zoo. Winnie was a very approachable bear and playful. Children could even ride her, and in no time at all, Winnie became a very popular attraction. A little boy, Christopher Robin, grew attached to the bear and visited often with his father, writer A. Milne. Christopher named his teddy bear at home Winnie the Pooh. and Milne started to write children's books based on Winnie at the London Zoo. Harry Colburn survived the war and returned to Winnipeg, where he opened a small animal hospital at the back of his house. In 1961, Walt Disney bought the copyright to Winnie the Pooh stories, and the rest is history. In episode 2 at Pancake Bay Provincial Park, we had the pleasure of meeting Paul from New Zealand, who was cycling across Canada. A day and a half prior to our conversation, he met a 70-year-old couple cycling the Lake Superior Circle Tour. Out of concern, Paul asked I look out for them. And there they were, spinning on their bicycles on the Trans-Canada Highway just west of White Lake Provincial Park.
We're cycling Lake Superior because
we have done all the other 4 lakes before, and this is our last big adventure. We started 24 days ago.
We drove to Sault Ste. Marie, left our car there, and crossed over into the United States and circumvented Lake Superior from there.
We slowly made our way to Duluth, which is a city quite interesting because of the bridge. And then we took Highway 61 and the Gochegame bike trail, which took us all the way up to Grand Portage. We can only recommend this trip highly. It's heaven for bicycles, and Grand Portage is a very, very, very historic place. We were fortunate enough to witness a reenactment of the Voyageurs, which was rather interesting for us. And then we made our way back to Canada and met Paul from New Zealand and exchanged a few experiences, and he was the reason that you stopped us here on the highway. And as I said, this is our 24th day. We're making our way now to White Lake Provincial Park. The weather has been gorgeous. I think we had one miserable day of rain, which we survived. But all in all, this is and will always be a super experience for the two of us. And if you want to, you can stop Peter, right here.
And actually, Peter is from Germany, and I'm from down under Australia, and we met in Montreal.
And we both have been here over 50 years.
Yes, and fell in love with biking.
Yes. Thanks for stopping us.
Thanks for stopping. Looking now. So long, Weber.
Bye.
Yeah, you too. Built on paper laced with gold. Marathon was established as a railway town during its construction between 1861 and 1883. Once the railroad was completed, the town dwindled, and according to the local census, there were only 23 residents left. A pulp mill was established in 1946, and the population bounced back to 2,500 residents. The pulp mill closed in 2009, and the lands have been repatriated to its original vista on the shores of Lake Superior. Today, Marathon is a vibrant community of over 3,200 residents enjoying 4 seasons of tourism that includes hiking trails, camping, cross-country skiing, fishing and hunting, even golf, and the list goes on and on. One of the many Lake Superior features is Pebble Beach. Pounding waves and shifting ice polish the colorful cobblestones that line Pebble Beach for over 2 kilometers. Every spring, Lake Superior changes up the vista by pushing the rocks up into the terraces, spreading them out in an even layer and rearranging the driftwood. The town of Marathon, through posted signs, requests the rocks not be removed as souvenirs, so that everyone can continue to enjoy this unique beach. Terrace Bay started out as a company town in the 1940s for a pulp and paper company. The pulp mill was the lead developer for basic infrastructure and housing, well before the Trans-Canada Highway reached the town. The Agwezabon generating station was created by the Ontario Hydro Water Division to redirect the northward flowing Long Lake south through the Agwezabon River system to Lake Superior. It was built between 1945 and 1948. The Agwezabon Gorge and Falls viewing area is just west of Terrace Bay, well worth a stop. The falls is 30 meters, and the river follows fractures in the 2.6 billion year old bedrock. Terrace Bay has a quaint downtown area with a replica lighthouse from the Slate Islands. There is also another group of 7 placard displaying the famed painting, North Shore, Lake Superior, by artist Lauren Harris. The top of the lighthouse overlooks the Slate Islands Provincial Park. The islands were created by a medium meteorite impact that formed a crater 32 kilometers wide, somewhere between 400 and 800 million years ago. It has a dense population of rare woodland caribou that migrated from the mainland by an ice bridge, and lake trout are bountiful all around the islands. There are no facilities on the island for campers. It is recommended to plan an adventure and charter a boat for the crossing. The islands are about 12 kilometers from shore and can be reached by an experienced and strong kayaker, but it is risky to do so due to Lake Superior's sudden changes in weather. Terrace Bay enjoys a large sandy beach with a boat launch and docking facilities. They also cater to the needs of the handicapped with an easy launch system for kayaks and canoes. We cannot leave the Terrace Bay area without previewing a special feature episode which will appear later in the Lake Superior Circle Tour video series. This special episode is on Jackfish, an historical railroad town turned ghost town, and the town of Schreiber. Safe travels, everyone!
But I think that the men knew, when they saw the diesel engine, that that was the end of Jackfish. Nobody said anything, but I know it was in their hearts, in their minds. Because that was the reason for Jackfish being, because it was a coal and watering place for the steam engines. As soon as the train could run through, it really wasn't needed anymore. So it stuck around for a while. It became a sort of a maintenance hub. You know, they used to have section workers and people who would work on the tracks, and then in the 60s, eventually they moved, and pretty soon it was a ghost town, abandoned, and there was nothing left.
There's a lot of hidden treasures in Schreiber, and when someone says that there's nothing to do here, they're wrong. There's so much to do. We have beautiful beach down here. We get snowmobiling, skiing, hiking, camping. Everyone enjoys it here, and I mean it's a friendly small town. Like I mean, everyone waves to everyone.
Yeah, we have a sportswear and embroidery shop in the front where we do custom logos on jackets, hats, and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff for either teams, businesses, or just individuals looking for a unique gift idea. And we hold kids' dances here to raise funds for our Fallen Rock Minor Hockey.
Just can't